Happy Sunday, everybody. My name is Scott Mendenhall. Welcome to our YouTube channel today where we talk about things that are going to make your life better and make you better at life. It's a built-in promise because it's not our message. We're just relaying a message that is tried and true. We have heaps of friends around here that like to hang. I think they like to hang with me. Some of them are paid to hang with me, so it's very hard to understand. Let's start with the paid people. Lily, how you doing today?
Good.
Would you
it's
hang
just
out?
an advantage,
Would
you know?
Would you hang out with me and be my friend if you weren't paid?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have done that in my lifetime.
You have done that. How about you, Joey?
I definitely would, but it's been a while since we've actually really hung out besides Sunday mornings.
Sunday morning.
But yes, I would hang out with you. Like, I would consider you a friend.
Okay, you consider that's good because I do as well. Thank you, you guys. We need to get that off the plate right away today. If you haven't heard it yet, Merry Christmas. I know we're a couple weeks from the actual day, but we're excited about Christmas around here.
It's Christmas time.
We had Christmas trees on our desk, and then Holly confiscated them for her little design and creation inside the house, and so we would love suggestions of what we should have in the studio today to make it more festive. Dwayne, who is all the way in Mississippi, he likes to call it the SIP. He's remotely coming in, and he actually trumps us on the Christmas attire. Look at him. He's giving the, look at what I got. He's like, I'm better. He's not saying it, but well done, Dwayne.
Thanks. Elizabeth worked hard on this.
Elizabeth
You know what?
Ricardo.
I have some extra decorations I can bring in for us next week.
Okay, so let's go back to that full screen and just walk us through whose is whose, because it doesn't really have names on there to tell me who's.
Also, we're missing one. So where's that one?
Yeah, it's here. It's here.
Okay,
Well, let's
good.
see. You have the
Thank goodness.
silver one,
I was
you
so
have
worried.
the green one, the blue one, the red one. That's the one you're missing.
We can't
The red
see
one.
the red, yeah.
The way we can't see
Yeah.
it. So is it about colors? Is that the give us the idea behind the stockings? Because what I've learned for Christmas traditions, everybody has different ways they do their stockings. So why all the colors and no names? I don't see names on stockings.
Yeah, so it's actually something that we each year the kids go through and they pick, hey, which one's my stocking? So
Out of the five that you have, or you get new
out
ones
of the five.
every year?
I mean,
Okay.
we have six. We have
Okay,
six.
cool.
There's
Oh.
two
So
red
whose is
ones. It's
whose?
very different.
Wait.
But yeah, the
Is 6? I just got to stop there for a second. He's 6. Are you trying to tell us something, or are we like?
No,
Is that in faith that one day there's going to be another little Dwayne running around? Maybe
No,
Elizabeth running around. No.
we have a Dwayne running around, a little Dwayne running around, but no other ones.
Are you sure about that? Like, I feel like it could happen. This is good news.
I
This is
mean,
great.
it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah,
man.
I
We're
like it.
reading the Bible. Like crazy things have happened, right?
Crazier things.
Okay, so we got a backup stocking, and every year they pick which stocking's theirs. That's interesting.
Kind of fun. So
It is.
who's this year?
Let's see. Purple one is Ellen's. That's been hers for a while. Like when we bought them, we think, okay, hey, which one the kids may enjoy.
Yeah.
Purple has been her favorite color for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, I think, yeah, I'm lost after
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Only Santa knows.
That is going to be the funniest moment of the whole morning. Right
Yes.
there. Yeah.
So that I don't walk into that situation that you just walked into, a little bit of a buzzsaw. I suggested way from the get-go. I said, Holly, we got to put names on people's stockings. That's it. Just name them. So then it's clear whose is whose, and there's no picking. So it's fair enough.
Elizabeth put in the
Purple
chat.
is Marshall.
Yeah. Ellen just come in and is like, no, mine's green. It's like,
We
oh,
are
okay.
dying over here, Dwayne.
For those that watch and don't read the chat along, the commentary that is given by those that are in the chat is wonderful, and we appreciate all of you.
I just got Vindigo.
You got dizzy? What is wrong with you? We were talking about vertigo earlier.
Or Vindigo.
Vertigo? Yeah, but I knew what you meant. We were talking about vertigo. It's just, you got to stay with us. There's a conversation that always happens before we go live, and then we pray before we go live. And so the conversations we have off camera are like crazy.
Is Dwayne
Are
laughing
you gonna pull
right
yourself
now,
together?
or-
Joey can't even see right now. The world's spinning.
Water.
Who knew it was so contagious? Vindigo.
He put vindicated and vertigo together. Two big words.
But hey, good thing I was processing with you.
Oh
right?
man, that was so funny.
Thank you, Dwayne, for all of the. You didn't
man.
know it today, but
People are like, what in the world is
you are
going on?
creating the narrative of this morning. We are so good.
Yep.
great.
I'm here all day.
All day, folks. All day he's here. This is good. This is good. It's good. Dwayne actually was sharing with us last week while he was on the chat last week with us. He was going downhill real fast with his health and ended up with vertigo for a day or so. So we were talking all about that. Then Joey over here stopped breathing for whatever reason. My goodness.
That was hilarious. Joey always makes me belly laugh.
Belly. What is belly laugh? Like,
Like-
you've been on one about that. You
I
wrote
have.
that about Holly's birthday the other day.
Yeah.
She big belly laughs, and
It's
I'm
just like your belly is involved in the laughter. That's what it is. Like you're laughing so hard that your belly is trying to catch up with the breathing. Like that.
what?
Something
Never.
like-
I know,
Something
I
like
know
that.
when I'm laughing hard when I like my back of my head hurts.
What?
Yeah.
This is weird. What? I've never have
Never
I ever.
experienced that. Like where
The
you're
back of
laughing
my head
so
hurts?
much and you're like, you're like.
The only time the back of my head hurts is when I hit it, like on the ground or something.
I think I've had that experience.
In my belly laugh, where my
Normal.
belly's involved in the laugh, never have I ever.
Then you haven't laughed.
I
at
know.
it.
I am a work in progress, folks. We are hoping you're doing fabulous wherever you're watching. We are excited about today. We are excited about the Christmas season. We're really excited about our Christmas Eve service. We want to start right from the get-go to make sure you guys all put in your calendars. Make sure you're here with your friends and family having a big feast for Christmas Eve. It's 8 a.m. online here. It is going to be it's going to be quite a journey. We are filming things that are going to be segments that are going to be played. It's going to be so much fun, okay? You don't want to miss it. We are traveling this week to film from somebody that views online. They've yet to make the jump to in the chat, but they are part of online at Unlock Church, so we're really excited to be able to go visit in their home and learn about their Christmas traditions, and that will air on December 24th at 8 a.m. some point there. It's going to be a great journey that day. We are really excited about it. So please make space in your day to be able to hang with us, but invite people. Like what a great way to start your Christmas Eve with friends and family coming around and having a great breakfast and then sitting down and having experiencing a journey and having questions. So December 24th, it's not a hard date to remember. It's kind of a thing that we all think about probably. And so we're excited about bringing that to all of you. Hey, if you got a second, would you snap a picture maybe of your Christmas tree? Maybe your stockings are out. Our stockings are not out yet. Our children tend to pull them down. And then after our conversation last week about stockings being on a wall and not a fireplace, Holly was going to put them in the hallway this year. And I was like,
Oh wow.
I don't think we can do that, Holly.
You literally have a fireplace. It looks so good on there.
Yeah, but it is bothersome to have them hanging and have to move them all the time.
Why do you have to move them all the time?
They'd catch on fire.
Oh, yeah. Well, that for sure makes sense.
Yeah, so get them out of here. Like, we heat the house by a fireplace. So if I want the stockings to not burn,
So then where are they going to go?
just maybe they just come out for Christmas Eve.
Sad.
What?
They're so cute. To only see them one day of the year?
I didn't miss them the other days of the year.
I understand where Holly's coming from.
So she was going to put them in the hallway, and I was like, I don't think we can do that after my conversation with Dwayne last week. Thank you, Dwayne, for influencing my entire life on stocking hanging. You're a good man. Same with Elizabeth. I'm sure she had a lot more to do with the stockings than you did, but I don't know. Anyways, here's the number that you can text a picture of your Christmas, whatever you got. You know, your trees, stockings, coffee mug. I don't know. 651-276-8797. That is 651-276-8797. Text a picture to there. We're going to put them up. It's always fun to see people's names. And if you hear that little bell sound in my ear, it's in my ear. It's in your. That's people texting pictures, and it's a good sound. It's a good sound. So keep them coming. We'd love to see your Christmas decorations, and maybe if your family lives just outside Tampa, Florida, maybe some bacon.
Bacon sounds so good.
It does.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Always.
Joey's belly's rumbling because he hasn't eaten enough. Maybe we should have served bacon today.
Oh yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
Okay. I'm glad you feel good about that. But what?
Bacon's good.
Bacon is good.
But it's not filling.
What?
It's not filling. No.
You don't want to eat enough bacon to be filled, yeah.
If you
That would be
did,
gross.
your arteries would be full.
Yeah.
Like
Bacon doesn't need to be filling. It's a side dish.
it's not a dish.
It's a
I
side.
It's a side, but I wouldn't say
like a-
dish.
It's a side of the dish.
I mean, let's have this conversation. It's always good to visit. What's the appropriate way to cook bacon?
Air fryer.
Air fryer.
So easy. Mess free.
Wow.
Cooks
I didn't see that
perfect.
coming.
On the pan.
Have you ever cooked
I have
bacon?
cooked bacon.
Okay.
Yeah, just on the stovetop.
I like it smoked. Put it in
Sounds
the
delicious.
smoker. Woo, that's
I've
tasty.
never smoked anything in my life, so.
It's good. It's tasty. Extra smoky flavor on the bacon. But here's the question. Do you like it where it's like a diving board situation where it's got a little spring to it, or does it got to be like almost burnt stiff? What are we going for?
Diving board bacon girl.
Diving? Or do you like it like limp kind of deal where it's
Not
just
limp.
kind of...
No, not limp. No, diving board.
Rigid.
I think it...
Diving
What did
board or-
Dwayne say?
Well, how about Dwayne? What's your thoughts on the bacon topic?
Oh yeah, it's got to be rigid. It's got to be rigid.
What's rigid mean?
Like
Diving
rigid,
board or
not
hard?
not diving board.
A little
He
bit
likes
not
it
diving board.
very firm. You're saying crispy.
Firm.
Fried
firm.
crispy.
Yes.
crispy
Crispy.
is the word.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm with
Yep.
Dwayne. Diving board situation, fine, whatever. I think it needs to have more of that crunch to it than anything. Especially, it depends what you put it on. If it's going on a baked potato, more crunch, the better. Salad, more crunch, the better. If it's going into like a soup, like a chili, if you never put bacon in your chili, you're missing out. Then I don't think it really matters because it loses its crunch as it sits into the chili. This is not a cooking channel. These are just free things for you.
But I like cooking shows.
You do? Never have I ever.
I'm watching a show about a cooking show right now.
A show about a cooking show.
Yeah,
about-
straight up.
That's too much.
I like cooking shows.
Does your husband watch it with
No,
you?
this is one of the shows that I watch while he's fighting for our country.
He's
Learning how to fight for our country.
Yeah, that's better. He has to go away once a month to
Once a
go.
month.
Yes.
Once a month I watch my show.
To prepare if
It
he's ever
lasts me a
called.
long time.
The cooking show about cooking show. I don't think so.
It's great. It takes place in the 60s. It's wonderful.
What?
It's good. It's a good show.
And what's the show?
It's called Lessons in Chemistry.
Is it black and white?
When they show the show. Yes.
When they show the show of the 60s.
Anyways, moving on. It's
Okay.
Brie Larson, by the way. That's all.
Yes,
So boring.
it does. It sounds brutal. I think I would rather read a book about the 60s.
100%.
Do you guys
Ah,
remember Big Fat Liar?
No.
The movie.
No.
yeah.
You don't remember that movie?
No.
Like
Jim Carrey.
Dwayne? Wait.
No,
Jim
that's
Carrey?
liar.
No, that's
liar.
liar.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Big
guy's
Fat
name, but the
Liar.
guy in Big Fat Liar is in the show.
What is Big Fat Liar?
It's a movie about a guy who's a big fat liar and gets into, like, his life becomes a mess. I can't believe no one knows this movie. I grew up watching, not like grew up, I was like, I remember watching it when I was young. My parents teaching us how to not lie.
Katie, one of our loyal, amazing human beings, Steve and her sitting here in the chat. She uses a device to be able to follow along, and because she can't hear very well. And apparently, her device said something about putting a phone on a baked potato because she texts, "Why would anyone put a phone on a baked potato? That would be bacon, bacon." Unless their little translator is translating the word bacon into phone. Because I could see that as a problem. Don't do that. Do not put your phone on a baked potato. Okay. Thank you, Lily, for the journey down the show about cooking. Right?
Yeah.
Are you learning anything, though? Like, are you making anything from this show?
Well, she is a chemist and she's brilliant. And so the show is about how there are chemical reactions and all these scientific things when it comes to cooking. And that's like the kind of the bit. And so I've learned a lot about chemistry.
Okay, I got one for you. This is on cooking. That if we originally, like when we would cook way back in the day before we had pans and stuff, would be on open fire, and you would get part of like wood and flavoring into your food. And there's those, speaking of chemicals kind of deal, that are imparted in the cooking of an open fire that is missing in the human diet that used to be that's super healthy for you.
Yeah.
You should cook on an open fire more than you should with frying pans and stuff, because then you're getting the metal and stuff potentially cooked in. I don't know if that's true. It's just what
Something in the metal.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, people are trying to like release metals from their body nowadays.
Yeah.
Not gain them.
Right. So you would lose the skillets and go to an open fire, and you could use apple wood, hickory wood, kind of like a smoker does. But those versions, just a thought.
Cool. That's awesome.
Cook.
Thank you
Maybe
for
we should.
enlightening us.
Maybe what we should do is the 4 of us should be for the next week cook on only an open fire. Well, that's slow down cooking. How about you, Dwayne? You in? All things cooked on an open fire. I feel like it's Christmas.
See, I want to say there was a conversation a couple weeks ago about committing to something without talking to my significant other, and she would be the one that would definitely be affected by this more than me. So I'm gonna hold off on that one, Scott.
Wait, I thought that we also talked about that week that when you said I do it, oh, that's kind of like the covers everything that I do. No?
It does. I do consult.
Yeah.
I commit.
Yeah. Maybe I should learn from you guys in this. Holly's probably listening and going, why are you like more like them, where you just consult with me more than just informing me? Let me just write it down. Oh, I don't have a pen. I can't. This is over. I can't remember this. Anyways, today's topic we're excited about. Do you have a bad case of I wants? Because that can lead to some complications in your life. Lily, you ever had a bad case of I wants?
Yeah, my parents used to call it the I wants. Is that a thing? Because I thought they made it up. I genuinely thought this was like my parents' thing.
That they made up?
Like our students at Unlocked Church know about my cases of the I wants because I speak of this often.
No, I'm pretty sure that's a thing that
I would get the I want, and I'd throw myself on the ground in the store and kick and scream, and my dad would sing "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones. You can't.
How'd that play
And then
out?
I told the students to listen to it, but I was like, but make sure you give yourself time because it's like a 9-minute song.
Okay.
I warned them.
So, but
It's a long song, and then my dad would sing the whole thing.
did it ever talk you out of getting the thing you wanted?
Oh, it just creates a fun memory in my mind.
But in the moment, can you remember?
No, I was so upset.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was a child.
So you don't have
With
bad.
greed.
You've grown out of the I
Oh
wants.
no, I have them. I'm trying to look for these plaid pants for Christmas. I want them.
Oh my god.
Because Scott ruined my outfit idea because we're gonna be one wheeling. Can't wait for you to see it. But I was gonna wear a dress, but can't wear a dress in one wheel. So I'm turning the plaid dress into plaid pants, but I want them. You're welcome for the example.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just trying to track with have I ever like had a bad case of I wants for like
Clothes? Really?
Close.
Yeah, like I don't think that's ever been on a. It's just like I see it. It's like, but I think that's the difference in men and women in the way we shop. I think women get a bad case of I wants and then they go shopping for this one item, like pair of pants or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't ever do that. I just kind of like just go get.
Yeah. No, I have a vision.
Yeah, well
It's,
done.
I have a vision in
Yeah.
my head of the outfit.
Before the pants, it was white chairs.
Got him.
Yeah, got him. But before that, many months ago, before that, I want a husband.
Loved it.
Okay,
Got it.
Got it. Yeah. See, she got a list. Now you wrestle with besides plaid pants. I want a new car.
No,
Oh, you don't want a new car.
I don't want a new car.
Oh,
There was
okay.
a season there for a little bit where we might need one. And then, the need produced a want, which was very interesting because we needed a new vehicle potentially in our minds. And so then it was like, I want this. Like, I want a Toyota Tundra. They're really hard to find right now. But anyways, yeah. Isn't that interesting? You could take that somewhere, that the need evolved into a want.
But you wanna hear the psychological part of this? Not me actually doing the study, but reading on it. It usually starts with I want, and we turn it into an I need. It's usually the other way
Opposite,
around.
yeah.
Because what happens is the
we
brain
can justify that all
the
day.
brain will not put any, because the brain is all about survival. The brain is wired to keep us alive, right? That's it. And so if it's just I want something, the brain doesn't put much energy behind it because it's not about our likelihood of surviving the day or life. But as soon as we can move it from the I want category to I need, now the brain gives resources to, oh, we need this. If we don't get this, we're not going to be healthy. This will make us better. And so then the brain allocates time to figuring out how to get it. That's why, mom and dad, when you have a teenager telling you, I need these pants, they have gone from wants to needs, and now the brain is creatively giving information on how they can get it. Because in their mind now, it's about survival. If I don't get this, I cannot survive. And so it's always interesting, and be careful in your own life when a bad case of I wants becomes I need now. And as Lily shares her story, that's a little bit reversed. I wonder if it started as I want, went to a need, and came back to I want, because it's the reverse as well. As you think through the things from I want to I need, as you process through realistically, and usually it requires somebody outside your emotional sphere of the thing you now need to rationalize you back, going, hey, you actually don't need that. And here's why. And then we put it back in the right category of I want that. Now, we also have a lot of marketers out there that are trying to convince us we need it. Think about cell phones. Most of us have cell phones that do everything the new version of our cell phone is going to do. It's not an upgrade. It's not like, wow, look at this, is amazing. But what happens is the marketing companies convince you you need it because you're going to take better pictures and your eyes are going to see it so much clearer in the details and all these different. Now I need it so I can document my life better. And it becomes to a need. And now I got to figure out how to do it. I'm going to take time. I'm going to daydream. I'm going to drive in the car. I'm going to be in the shower. How do I get that? Because it's going to really help my life. I need it. I need it. I need it. Welcome to the psychology lesson of the day of I wants to the needs. Very dangerous when things that were on the I want list move to the I need list because it's phantom. It's not real. Dwayne, have you ever had a bad case of the I wants?
Yes.
Why do you say it with
Yes.
like a question mark?
Well, it's like, okay, the clothes, like, not necessarily, like, it's okay.
You didn't need that vest?
This. Do what?
You didn't need the vest you're wearing today?
I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
It looks nice on
It
you,
does.
Dwayne.
I like how you had to look down though
Thanks.
at it. Like, what? What vest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. There was a time early on in the marriage where, I don't know. I went through the whole psychological of convincing myself that I need a motorcycle. Like, if I had a motorcycle, the commute would be a lot cheaper. It would pay for itself, right? So, that's
Love it.
that's the last one that I remember. Just kind of like, hey, I need this.
It's a tough one to admit when we were in a bad case of I want. We'd love to hear from those that are in the chat. What was the last thing that you can look back on? That was silly. I wanted that, and what you did to get it. Maybe you were a teenager and stuff. We'd love to hear those stories in the chat from you. How about you, Joey? You ever had a bad case of the I wants?
Yeah. Trying to think. I mean, right now, I want a new car, or I feel like I need a new car. I don't know if I'm justifying it or not.
Because you're having another baby.
Yep. So
That's a tough one.
like, do I absolutely need it? Like, no, I think I can talk my brain out of it, but at the same time, I can justify I need it because I need it.
Because I got it through. It's just what you do. Your
Yeah.
family grows, so should your car.
Yeah.
Too bad there isn't some way to like press a code in your car and it like grows with your family. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's interesting that because we are all kings and queens of our kingdoms, and it's hard to really clearly see, is it a need or a want? That's why it's so good to have people outside of our emotional sphere to kind of give the rational thoughts behind some of those things. When you talk to somebody that is wise with money, and you when you talk to them and they hear what you're saying you want and what you're willing to do to get what you want, they're going, hold on, you're willing to pay that for the next 5 years, and this is how much more you're going to spend on it. And when we have a bad case of I wants, we're willing to do whatever. We do not care what strings come, what traps are in it, anything. We just want it now, and until we get it, it's a bit of what Lily was saying when she was a little girl, kicking and screaming. Now, as adults, we don't kick and scream physically. It's more verbally. We get disgruntled about our situation. We back to the phone illustration. My phone's going so slow now. It probably isn't doing anything different. You're just aware of and trying to build a case to push yourself into satisfying the bad case of the I wants. That's the topic today. We're going to use parenting to kind of illustrate that. So if you are hoping to be a parent, you are a parent, you're a grandparent, or you are single and you are maybe a preschool teacher, or you know somebody of the next generation, what we're about to teach today is practical thoughts to all of us. So as we get into parenting teachings and parenting tips, don't turn off. May you file it away to when the day you're a parent. File it away when you meet somebody of the next generation. Maybe it's in the next couple, maybe it's a neighbor. Next couple of days, you're going to have a conversation or whatever it is. You're going to know how to help them, because after all, at some point, we're going to encounter somebody from the next generation. You can either ignore them or you can help them become more like Jesus. And so that's the hope. It is the Christmas season. We love this season. We love playing videos of the season. And one of our favorite songs around here, Carol, is Joy to the World. There's so many different renditions of that. It's so much fun to hear the creative liberty people take on these songs. But if you didn't know it, it's a simple scale. If you don't know what that means, it's just you might not know music. But music is a lot of different. The chromatic scale, which is all the flats and sharps in a scale. You have the B scale. A. It's the key that you're in, and then you have you have the blues scale. You have all these scales that allow people to understand how to stay in the same notes together so it sounds pretty. If you didn't know this, Joy to the World is a simple scale played a certain way. You'll see what I mean after you watch this video. I hope this gets you excited about Christmas and stuff. And we're going to come back and we're going to really jump into the topic today. Thanks for being with us today. We're really excited to have you with us while you watch this video. Subscribe to the channel if you would. If you haven't already, it'd be just delightful. Enjoy this video. We'll be right back.
My mama told me something when I was growing up that has forever changed my life. She played the piano at our little church at 3rd and Pine Street for 37 years. She tried to teach me to play the piano, but I wasn't very good. She would teach me the names of the notes, what a major key is, what a minor key is. She tried to teach me musical theory, but I was just bored. Then, one day, she told me that the best news in the world is found by playing a simple scale on the piano. I had no idea what she meant, so she told me to play an 8-note scale. So I did. I said, "How is that good news?" And she said I played it incorrectly and that I needed to play it the other way. So I did. Again, I said, "How is that good news?" And she said, "I played it the right way, but I needed to add the pauses." The pauses? She said, "The pauses. Add them on the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th, and last note." Now, I was frustrated and said, "How can 8 notes with random pauses be the best news in the world?" Then I got up, walked away, and went outside. Frankly, I didn't care what she was talking about. I didn't like playing the piano anyway. Well, years later, my mama got sick and passed away. As I was thinking about her, I remembered what she told me about the piano. Not only that, I still remember the notes she told me to pause. The 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th, and last note. So I sat down at her piano and played the scale with the pauses. And that's when I realized the good news she was talking about.
That is so good. I mean, when I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. I love it so much, and I've heard it so many times. I left my headphones on to hear it because it's just like that last part where it goes boom. It's like, yeah, baby, it's so good. And the pauses are actually one of the remedies to a bad case of the I wants, is pause. But we don't. We just rush into it. I remember as a youth pastor, we would have these events, camps, and weekend retreats that would cost money for students to do. And we would have heaps of students go, oh, I can't come. It costs too much money. And then it was funny to hear him talk like in the same sentence, but I'm going to go get these new pair of shoes or these pants that cost the exact same amount of money that the trip's going to cost. And it's like, hold on. No. You don't want to come to the trip. You'd rather have the jeans and the shoes versus coming. Because what we do is when we got a bad case of a wants, whatever is the thing we want, we allocate resources and energy to that thing. Not always the wisest thing, the thing we want. And that's a trap. It's a pitfall. And here's the thing I've learned in 45 years. It's in all of us. It's just some people have figured out how to control it better than others. Like I hear Jen in the chat talking about being minimalistic and all that stuff. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Minimalistic.
Thank you. That's a great mindset of like removing the I wants. It's like, no, I'm going to choose to live below my means. Actually, that's how you save money, is to live below your means. But what happens is we live above our means, so therefore we get ourselves into debt because we can't afford the lifestyle we're choosing to do. These are all just little tidbits, things to drop down for you, little nuggets for you to just process and ponder. Before we really dive into the do you have a bad case of the I wants, we got to look at some of the pictures you guys sent. So I've not got to see them. I get to see them first time with all of you, which is always exciting to see the pictures you guys choose to send in. Here are some of those loaded up, seeing some of your Christmas experiences.
That's your house.
That's my house.
And that's me in your house by your TV.
Does our tree
tree.
look crooked?
No?
She told me that there's no ornaments down there. That's hilarious.
No.
That's because you have little children.
Yeah, they
I
just
love
take
it.
them off.
Yeah.
Like, we're not dealing with that.
Yeah.
That's right. Good job. Parenting hack.
There's another tree in Dwayne. Look at that. Little shiny light
That
on one
tree
Yeah,
side.
is
but there's another
beautiful.
side of parenting. Dwayne, they didn't do it. So that means they're parenting through it.
Woo! You just learned a few things there, Joey.
Dwayne, comments?
Well,
I'm lost. Didn't do it. Didn't do what?
The
Decorate the bottom of the tree.
Yeah, you decorated it, and we didn't because we were like,
Oh.
Zay just takes out the ornaments, and we're not trying to deal with that. And I said that you're parenting through it and teaching them don't take off ornaments on the bottom.
Yeah. It's just you're selective about which ornaments you put at the bottom. It's the plastic ones that
right.
if it comes off, you parent through
Go
it,
hack.
but it's like it's not that big of a deal.
Here we go. Parenting hack 101 right there at Christmas.
Parenting hack version of
I
the
got to
one and
point
two.
out that 2 Christmas trees in a row have a star top. It's trending. Okay, do we have any other pictures or is that it? Oh, here we go. Whoa, where is that?
That's so pretty.
Is that a TV or a projector? However the
Projector.
picture's been taken, it is ginormous. That's sweet.
Yeah, we're on the
That
big
looks
screen
like a
today.
chill area.
Yeah. Hey! I just got to tell you how warm it is in
That's
here
so
that
great.
Steven has his shoes off and just kicking back and relaxing.
I was feeling extra grateful for the studio today. It's amazing.
Yeah, we love it. Thank you again
So
for everybody.
cozy.
Okay, is that it? I don't ever know. One we got. Oh, here we go. Another one.
Nice. That is.
That's
That is
beautiful.
beautiful.
I love that
That is
tree
great
too.
stuff.
That tree.
That's a real tree right there.
That tree has no topper on it.
No topper.
That
It's
is
really
like-
pretty. I like the bookshelves.
Is that a real tree?
It
That's
does
a
look
real
real.
tree
Looks like a
for
real
sure.
tree.
That's impressive.
I like the skirt around it. That's neat.
Yeah. Look at us. We're all being Christmas. What do we want to call that? We're critiquing people's Christmas trees.
Like a
A legend called us Karens. We're not. We didn't
I
put
don't think
anything
that's
bad.
a Karen move.
The star thing, like our tree doesn't have a topper on it. I don't know why. I don't know if we don't have one or it broke. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
have
don't-
the angel. It must have broke then. Because Holly loves that angel.
It's not up there yet. Definitely not a tradition in this house where like the dad puts the topper on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a thing around here. Interesting thing you bring up about kids in the tree. I get it. That's easier for you. You don't have to train. But how will they ever learn?
Right. No, you're right.
Today, Joey's gonna go and Michaela, we need to put some ornaments down there. Dwayne said they need
No,
to be
we
plastic.
literally talked about it. We talked about it when we were putting it up, and then she's like, "I'm not doing it."
I'm not doing it. Well, she's pregnant. She wants to minimize the stress of life. Lily's gazing out like you're thinking about this.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm thinking about Michaela laughing in her living room right now at you guys talking about this.
Talking about her tree?
No,
I mean, I was also imagining adults taking off the ornaments and playing. Because you're like, when will they ever learn?
Oh,
So if they never learn,
Oh.
I was imagining if they
Yeah.
never
I get what
learn
you're saying.
Yeah.
the consequences. Now, other situations, much more consequential than a Christmas tree ornament. But like lying, if you don't ever teach it, when will they learn? That's an issue. So
Yes, this is true. We have our biggest issue with our Christmas tree is the cat. The cat takes things off, Joey, and chews
That's why
on
you
them.
don't have a cat.
Yep. All
or
right.
you just embrace it. Like
No.
on Wednesday, I said the thing I'm looking forward to most about Christmas is my cat tipping over the tree. Hilarious. I'm embracing it.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I'm
hilarious.
excited for it to jump from the couch onto the tree and just
Oh yeah,
fall down.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into two different stories about two different children. Here's a question for you as we jump into, and we're not going to read the Christmas story from the Bible, but what character do you identify with? Okay, we'll give you a list of those, and if you haven't read the stories, you can read them in the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These are books of the authors by their name. You can read the story of Jesus being born. And so here's the question. I'll give you some of the characters that you can think about. Who do you identify the most with in the Christmas story? You have baby Jesus. You have Mary. You have Joseph, the father. You have the angels. You have the shepherds. You have King Herod. Who do you identify the most with in the Christmas story? Why the frowny face there, Joey?
I'm thinking which one I
Identify as?
identify as.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to say baby Jesus because, like, I wasn't born in a barn in a manger. Joseph would be a natural one, I think, for a lot of guys because you're having to process a lot of information and be loyal and when, there's just...
Right, but like if you haven't been in that type of situation,
Yeah, like I
like, I
want
don't-
to identify with Mary. Like that's
Yeah,
she's
or-
the goal.
or I want to identify as Joseph, but like, I mean, I guess you can, like, yes, I guess I don't know. Like, I mean, of course, there's situations where you're like, oh, I'm loyal to my wife, but I haven't been in like, okay, my wife is pregnant and it's not mine. Like,
Yeah, you haven't been in that exact situation.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to compare it to something. I don't think it's really comparable, but
Yeah, I do think. Again, obviously, our stories are all different, so you got to take through the principles of the stories of the characters in the Christmas story, right? Are you you could identify as shepherds easy as shepherds are the least of the people of their day. They're working a job they probably don't particularly like. They're working the late shift because they're outside and an angel appears to them in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's an easy one to feel that at times. So it depends what, I think you can ask yourself this every Christmas, who do I identify this year? I think it'll be very different every year. I really do think that. Dwayne, how about you? When you hear that question, who do you most favor or identify with in the Christmas story out of the names we dropped, or do you want to add another one?
Yeah, I think going back to kind of piggybacking on what you were talking about with the shepherds, just like feeling undeserving of, hey, I'm just a nobody. Like I'm just a lowly guy, and I get the benefit of coming and being a part of the story. Like that's, yeah, to me, I think that's where my heart got. Like that was my initial thought is like the shepherds, definitely not not in it, not deserving, and just kind of thankful to be a part.
Okay. And again, I think these are all. I don't think most people would be, and I've said this in years past before, because I think most of us, if we really dug down to it, we are all King Herod, because King Herod had a bad case of I wants. What did he do? He wanted to preserve his kingdom. Think about it. Here's a little history lesson about King Herod, and if you want to read the story of this, you can go to Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 3, to really keep up with it. Matthew writes in chapter 2, verse 1, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem. This was somewhere around the time that Jesus was born, within a couple years span. Okay, I know the nativity scene has the wise men there in the barn area. That is not true. The star appears the night that Jesus was born. They are following, and it takes them a couple years to find it. They come to King Herod, and they asked, "Where's the one who was born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose, and we've come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. And reason why it's important to that little fact that in all Jerusalem was as well, because when the king, this king particular, was disturbed, they were afraid of what he was going to do, because he had a history of doing crazy things like this. These are in the history books that we can read about King Herod. He changed his will 3 to 4 times of who's going to get what, because his son upset him, so he wrote him off. You're out of the will. No way. He had 10 wives. He changed his mind who was going to be the next king multiple times. It wasn't clear who. Usually, in a kingdom situation, it was the oldest son was the next heir. Not this case. King Herod would go, nope, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because he was afraid that he was going to lose what he was going to build, or he was afraid to lose his legacy. And he killed. Here's the other. He disinherited and killed his firstborn. His son killed him because he was going to be the next king. Killed him. This is the king that no wonder why Jerusalem would be disheartened. Joey, they'd be like, we're scared. We're disturbed because our disturbed king. What's he gonna do now? And this is the Christmas story, and it's an interesting take on the Christmas story, because the king had a bad case of I wants and was willing to do crazy things to satisfy it. Ultimately, he comes out with a decree of, okay, hey, wise men, come back to me and tell me where I can find such boy so I can worship him as well. But we all know, or maybe some of you don't know, it was really so he could kill this king so his kingdom wouldn't be in jeopardy. I mean, King Herod made a deal with, there was a fight that was going to happen between two countries, and he made a deal with the wrong side. The losing side. He comes back and he goes, I'm so sorry, and tries to make amends with what he was going. He was just trying to preserve his kingdom. He was trying to think which one's going to win and who's going to make my legacy go. He was all about what I want, and my legacy was the thing I want. He was known as a builder. He built the Jewish temple. However, it was tiny, little compared to the temple originally. He built the port cities. He was very educated. He was very smart, very politically wise, very astute. Lily, what would the word astute mean to you?
Like studious, like a good student. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like that.
Dwayne, what would you say the word astute? That's a fun word to say. What would you say astute means? He's very astute.
I would think understanding the consequences of kind of what's
Ooh.
going on.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah, he had the ability to accurately assess situations or people and turn it into his own advantage.
Whoa.
Astute. Think about that. Think about when you have a bad case of I wants, that's what we're talking about. You use every advantage you can to get what you want. That might be a loan. That might mean
Sounds
selling
selfish.
something. Yeah, but that's what a bad case of I wants is. It's really a bad case of,
Mentally sharp or clever. I always thought that meant something else. Very interesting.
well, I'm glad you're learning something today, eh?
I am.
Okay. You know what? I move around in my notes, and then all of a sudden, I can't find my notes. Okay, here we go. The whole goal of this Christmas season here at Unlock Church is to create a together Christmas where you would come together as a family and have Christmas despite your circumstances. Meaning you could be in a divorce situation, been divorced 10 years, you haven't been around the father of your kids ever, and you're remarried. How do you figure out how to have a together Christmas? I know that's a touchy situation. You're like, stop meddling in my personal situation. No, but I'm trying to say, what's the barrier? What could you teach your children in the process of trying to fight for a together Christmas? Maybe it's more current. You're at odds with your parents or your sibling or your children, like they're adults now and they don't mend those relationships so that you might have a together Christmas. It seems to be an ongoing theme in so many Christmas movies that I have been watching. Now, we're going to talk about King Herod again, but this is after Jesus' birth. Jesus is now a man. He's walking the earth, and Jesus' good friend, cousin, John the Baptist, is arrested. Now, King Herod, you can read this in Mark chapter 6, verse 14. King Herod seemed to be a bit of a fan of John the Baptist. He actually would go and listen to John the Baptist. John the Baptist would talk about Jesus, and we talk about the kingdom of heaven being here on earth and all these things. So King Herod, and how we know this, because when I read Mark chapter 6, verse 14, we're going to read it. King Herod heard about this from Jesus King Herod had heard about, am I jumping in the middle of my notes?
No,
here?
that's 14.
Okay. Verse 14. King Herod heard about this, for Jesus' name had become well known. Some were saying John the Baptist had been raised from the dead, and that is why miraculous powers are at work in him. Others were saying he is Elijah, talking about John the Baptist or Jesus. And still, others claimed he is a prophet, like the one of the prophets long ago. But when Herod heard this, he said, John, who I beheaded, has been raised from the dead. So we're jumping in the middle of a conversation about he's trying to figure out who Jesus is that he tried to kill when he was a baby. And now he's trying to figure out who Jesus, this man, is at the moment. Who is this guy? And people are trying to explain who he is. And he's like, hold on, I know it's not John the Baptist because I killed John the Baptist. If it is John the Baptist, he's come back to life. Interesting. Mm-hmm. For Herod himself had given orders to have John arrested, and he had him bound and put into prison. And he did this because of Herodias. Did I say it right? Mm-hmm. Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, whom he married. Okay, did you check that drama out?
Drama.
Did you get the drama there, Joey? Are you catching up?
I was reading ahead.
Ooh, you cheater.
I am.
Okay, what's the drama right there?
Something about a wife. Right?
Yeah, but
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
The drama is that he married his brother's wife.
What? What'd you say?
The drama is that he married his brother's wife.
How many know that's a problem in family?
Yeah,
talk about a struggle bus for together Christmas.
That's a big problem.
That's a problem. Okay. It continues, for John had been saying to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. So Herodias nursed a grudge against John and wanted to kill him. What does she got? She got a bad case of I wants. And it's not about a pair of pants. She wants to kill the guy because John the Baptist spoke out about the adulterous affair that they were having. She was saying constantly, this is not a healthy relationship. And she had a bad case of I wants. It started with I want King Herod. And I want John the Baptist's head. That's really where we're headed here. She nursed a grudge. Interesting how the word nursed a grudge. She didn't let it go. So let me ask this question, big question to all of us at home. Are you holding a grudge towards family members or an ex-employer or what? Are you holding a grudge? Because dangerous things happen when we nurse grudges. One, it'll shorten your life health-wise. What good is it to have this grudge against somebody that they're not even in your life anymore? 10 years ago, they did something to you. You're still nursing a grudge. And you're missing out on opportunities to do things in your life because you can't let go of something. Today's the day. Let go of that grudge. And you're going to tell me you don't know what they did to me. I don't. But you don't know what the people have done to me in my life either. You're going to say, well, that's easy to forgive them. Your life is so different than mine. No, you know what? When we compare our lives to somebody and we look at, well, your life is so different, you know why their life is different? Because they didn't nurse a grudge. They let go of the grudge. They didn't nurse a grudge towards God. God, why are you letting me be in this spot in my life? Why am I about to lose my house and finance? And we're nursing a grudge. Stop. It's not healthy to nurse a grudge. But she was not able to. She wanted to kill him, but she was not able to because Herod feared John and protected him, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man. When Herod heard John, he was greatly puzzled, yet he liked to listen to him. There's the indication we know that he was like, you know how we download podcasts of people, and sometimes you listen to somebody's podcast, you're like, I don't want people to know I'm listening to that podcast because they have their thoughts on it, but you're liking them. It's like that. King Herod probably didn't tell people he'd sneak off and listen to John the Baptist at the Jordan, but he was listening to it. He's puzzled by what he was saying. He's talking about Jesus' kingdom coming, and he's listening to it. Finally, verse 21, the opportune time came. On his birthday, Herod gave a banquet for his high officials and military commanders and leading men of Galilee. When the daughter of Herodias came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his dinner guests. Which that whole thing's weird to me. I don't know. I don't know all the facts, but when I read it the way it's wrote, it's like, this family's jacked up.
I bet some people are like, you're comparing me to King Herod?
Bad case of I wants. Do whatever you can to keep your kingdom.
Yeah.
Why don't you tithe? Because you are holding on to money to continue to build your kingdom. Why do you not serve? What are hurdles for serving or volunteering in places? I want my time. I need my time. Right? We don't want to give our things away. We are constantly trying to manage our kingdom. Mm-hmm. So, he's pleased with his stepdaughter's dancing. The king said to the girl, ask me of anything you want and I'll give it to you. And he promised her with an oath, whatever you ask, I will give you up to half of my kingdom. Wow, what a deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question got asked, what did the daughter desire? And if you don't know the rest of the story, I'm going to give you that depended on what her mother desired. She wanted what her mom wanted. And it's interesting when we're raising young people, parents out there, that your kids in their wants are oftentimes learned from you and I. The things we want. Like, all my kids want GTSs. That's the latest One Wheel from One Wheel. They only know that because of me. It's not like they got an email from One Wheel, or they all the way down to Revolution, who is like 4 years old. He wants a GTS. The thing weighs more than him. It actually might be taller than him, but he wants one. You ask him what he wants for Christmas? I want a GTS. Why? He can't. It's because I want one. And it's interesting, and you know this, Mom and Dad. Most things are caught, not taught. When parenting, we don't like it. It's an ugly truth of it. It's caught, not taught. You got a little boy. You got boys that don't respect your wife, their mother. Have you ever watched how you communicate to your wife? Most times, dishonor is caught, not taught. Oh, you can speak to them like that, so I can in turn. And it's different when you hear someone doing it versus you hearing yourself. Because what do we do again? We justify why we did. Well, I'm only speaking that way because they've irritated me, and if they wouldn't do that. Most things are caught, not taught. So, Mom, Dad, examine your life. What are the things that are frustrating you about your child currently? And how many times have you addressed it verbally to fix it without examining the very thing you're doing in other situations? It's interesting. Political conversations. I love talking to high schoolers and middle schoolers on political topics because it really is it's a way to get into conversations at the dinner table. To listen, what's being talked to, because most middle schoolers don't form an opinion on political things. I know there's a rare young person that like they're a genius and they do these things, but most of the time it's caught at the dinner table, caught at how dad's talking about the president or talking about the whatever the hot topic is. It's caught. And then what happens is they just regurgitate what they've heard. I hear it with Legend all the time around here.
I was going to add, and with the lack of or the amount of passion that the parent speaks with.
Yeah.
The passion also is matched. So if like a parent is passionate about something, or if they're angry about something, I see that all the time come out with young people and them sharing their opinions.
Yeah, on some of the it's like, why does that matter to you as a student? That was often my thing, is like, you're 16 years old. This person is, you don't even know who they are outside of being taught by somebody. It's just interesting. It's a lot of pause needs to happen today for all of us, especially as parents. What is being caught instead of taught? So let's get back to the story. She went out and said to her mom, "What should I ask for?" See the thing here? She doesn't know what she wants, and all of a sudden she goes to Mom, "What do I want?" "I want what you want, Mom." "The head of John the Baptist," she answered. At once the girl hurried into the king with the request, "I want you to give me, I want you to give me right now the head of John the Baptist on a platter." She didn't want that, but it became the desire her mom had. At once she hurried and said, "I want." Now listen what happens. The king was greatly distressed, but because of his oath and his dinner guests, he did not want to refuse her, so he immediately sent an executioner with the orders to bring John's head. The man went, beheaded John in the prison, and brought back his head on a platter and presented it to the girl, and she gave it to her mother. I mean, that's weird.
The Bible.
The Bible, yeah, right?
That's crazy.
I've always been like, what is the point of this story? And then you get to the end and you get to see how Jesus responds to this. But it's also like just the storyline and what we're talking about today. There's so many like layers, like even the mother-daughter relationship, marriage choices, the daughter being literally just like, not like a slave to what her mother says, but like she's not making her own choices.
Right.
So there's a lot here.
Again, we're taking a lot out of this, right? Clearly, mom has not taught the daughter how to have critical thinking and to figure things out on her own at this stage in her life. She's still depending on mom, which is an unhealthy relationship. Moms, dads, we should be teaching our child at the youngest age when they can make decisions how to make wise and healthy decisions, because they're going to be doing that for the rest of their life. An adult makes, I don't know, an astronomical amount of decisions. Depends who you listen to. It's thousands of decisions in a day. Thousands of decisions. And if we don't teach our kids how to make wise decisions, we become adults and we make unwise decisions. To be really blunt, we make stupid decisions. From down to what's healthy to eat and drink and watch and how long to play video games and all those things. And we as parents get frustrated that wait, our child won't. I'm going to get on a soapbox here for a second. Especially about video game kind of deal. Like my kid won't, I tell them an hour and they always fight and complain about not being able to, or they want to play more, and sometimes they play more. The question is, are there consequences when they don't stop at 1 hour? Or if they kick and scream like Lily was talking about herself, do you break down and go, sure, you can have more, it's not a fight, and put your headphones on and disappear? Because when you do that, all you're doing is teaching a child that, hey, as long as I kick and scream, I'll get what I want. And when your child has a bad case of I want and you give into those without teaching them critical thinking in the stages to do that, you're creating a monster. And you're actually sabotaging your child's future because they won't know how to make healthy decisions when it all rides on their decision-making skills. Mom and dad, stay in the trenches of raising a middle schooler, a 4-year-old. Joey, I'm going to come back. You set up the Christmas tree. Put the stinking things back on the tree and teach your children how to make good decisions. That when they make unwise ones, there's consequences, right?
Right.
Like, so yes, parents, we're always looking for what's easy for us. How do I eliminate future stresses? But that's not the correct way in raising a child. You are to create a safe environment where kids can feel safe to push some of the boundaries, but you teach there are consequences. Because there is. You walk into your office tomorrow and you just start going off wildly to the boss. How many know there's consequences? There's no, right? Like, so why would we not teach our children that? Clearly we have this daughter who doesn't know how to make good decisions, goes to mom who clearly has a huge problem of the I wants, and figures out and leverages in an unhealthy manner with their daughter to get what she wants, which ultimately just ruins that relationship even more. You know, if you want, mom and dad, you want a healthy relationship in the friend category of your kids, mom and dad, friends. Friends category comes in when they are 18 years old. When they are an adult, you start building the friendship. Before that, you're mom and dad. You're the law. You are, I don't know how you view it, but love's all got to be in here, okay? Somebody's going to go to the extreme. No, there's love in all of this. And you are you are the person that holds the standard in the relationship, and work on being friends afterwards. Because in situations like this, you can read psychology books, but we see the mother-daughter relationship in 20s is no longer existent, because what happens is the child gets old enough to understand, wait, my mom led me astray. My mom only leveraged me to get what she wanted. That could be she wanted a friend. She wanted the head up, right? And then all of a sudden there's resentment that comes in the relationship, in the friend zone of parenting. You can help that part of life when you hold the line. I know it's difficult, and your kids are going to kick and scream. I have 8 of them. And my children are not perfect. They all do the very things that you are all expressing. They've all done the Christmas tree thing Joey's talking about. They have all pooped in the bathtub. They just have all done that. It's like, I don't know why. It must be a rite of passage when you're like 2 years old. You just think it'd be awesome to do that. It's messy, okay? And the days feel long, but the years are short in parenting. These are true facts. But if you don't continue to go, pay the price pay the price as a parent to go, no, I'm going to teach these things because this is my responsibility. So if we are modifying things for the ease of parenting, we're potentially sabotaging that child's future for our pleasure. Not in that we're enjoying but we're enjoying what we think is peace. But ultimately, you're sabotaging the relationship between them. So we got this prodigal daughter. The story of the daughter of Herodias is the story of the prodigal daughter. The counterpart, I wrote in my notes, of this story is the prodigal son. They both said, give me, always is the first step down. The prodigal son comes back because he had a good father. The prodigal daughter never came back, but because she had a bad mother. Think about that. So if you want to read in Luke chapter 15, verse 11, this is where Luke talks about the prodigal son. He's recording Jesus' words. Jesus continues, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to the father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided the property between them. So both parents gave in to what they wanted. But both had different relationships with their daughter. And you can use history to see what happened to Herodias' daughter in relationship and the facts of where she never comes back. Whereas the prodigal son takes everything from the dad, goes, spends it all, rock bottom, eating pig slop. And what at the end of the story, we see where the father is waiting for the son. I'm going to get to that. It's like around verse 20. The son says in verse 19, I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of the hired servants. He got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him and ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The father was waiting for the son to come back. These two stories are stories about relationships with the child. What kind of relationship do you have with your child? If you are sabotaging their future to be friends too early, it's going to be a rough road back. Dwayne, you're hearing all this. We haven't heard any, and you're processing, I'm sure, and you're trying to ponder it all. What are some of your initial thoughts when you hear the two stories? And you're hearing some of my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the challenge is, the challenge to me is, okay, like the daughter went and asked the mom, like, what should I ask for? So it's like, okay, like it's a challenge because when my kids, like I want to have that relationship with my kids, when they come and they seek my counsel, it's like, okay, like I want to make sure that I'm not just letting my wants and my views kind of dictate and kind of manipulate them to what they're doing. So that's challenging, especially as we're getting to the point where we have a teenage daughter. So that's tough. That's a good message and a good thought process going into this season of life. So yeah, I think that's the big point to ponder right now for me.
Yeah, and I love that even you say that ponder for you because again, everybody's in different stages of life. But for those that are non-parents, I think Dwayne, I would like to say to them, hey, they're not your child, but maybe you're around in a together Christmas or Thanksgiving, and they're asking you, hey, your thoughts, and you just give them what you think they would like to hear versus the reality of let me give you good truth. Let me give you something that's going to be bearing good fruit in their life, but it's going to be hard. You have the opportunity to be the same, like who are you going to be? Like we all have the next generation coming around us. Are we just saying the things that will make us look cool and build our kingdom up of like, oh, my uncle's awesome? Or are we giving them things that will cultivate Jesus principles down the road in their life and make them someone that people want to be around? I mean, I love what Proverbs 31, 28 says this. Her child rise up and call her blessed, happy, fortunate, and to be in what's ENVI?
Envious?
Envied.
Envied.
And to be envied. And her husband boasts of and praises her, saying, my daughters have won virtuous, nobly, and well.
Have done virtually.
What's that?
They've done virtuously,
nobly and well, with the strength of character and steadfastness, goodness. But you excel them all, or exceed them all. This is Proverbs 31. If you don't know, this is about like a lot of women take this as the goal of like, this is my goal, which is a really good, there's so many good things in Proverbs 31. But they're talking about a woman that would be following Jesus and her child rises up and calls her blessed, looking back on her mom or their child mom saying, man, she was happy and fortunate. She was to be envied. Not in a gross way, but like, man, that's the goal. And her husband boasts. I love to just read that part. And then when you go down to, or if you go to 1 Thessalonians 2:11, this is talking about parenting again. This is Paul writing, for you know that we dealt with each of you as fathers deal with his own children. This is the goal in parenting. This is especially dads, encouraging. That we're encouraging our children, that we're comforting, and we're urging them to live worthy of God and to call you, who calls you into the kingdom of glory. That's the goal of dads. We're to be encouraging and comforting, urging them to live worthy of God. And sometimes that means we as parents have got to put up with some of those grindful things that are like, boy, when are they ever going to learn this? How many times do I got to tell them that? And it's having that compassion to continue to encourage because someday it clicks as they grow up and get mature. It's teaching the same biblical principles in a bite-sized way for every age bracket.
That's good.
Because Revolution at 4 years old cannot eat what Legend can eat as a 15-year-old. So you got to be able to teach the same godly principles to both, but in their bite-sized capacity. And you need to always encourage them. Obviously, as a parent, you're going to get frustrated. I get very frustrated when my kids pick on each other in the house or they hit each other. Right? Very frustrating. It's like, oh my gosh, why are we doing this? But if I parent out of my frustration, I will not encourage them and I will not be comforting. I will, what I would do is just ground them all from each other, right? But that's not the result. When I find them frustrated with each other, I'm typically the guy that's going to go, I'd really like peace in my house. And that would be, let's go play video games or everybody go watch. But what I do often is I tie those two that are most frustrated with each other, I tie them together. Put them in the same t-shirt. Literally, we've done this so many times. We'll put ropes around their waist and say, hey, for the next hour, you're tied up together until you sort it out. It'll get extended if you will not get along. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be a funny parent. I'm not trying to be the most liked parent. I'm really trying to teach my children Jesus principles. And when I see them not doing that, I will step into the mess and stay in the mess until I see that they're getting it. Because that's how the world gets changed. That's how they become better. Do I always get this done? No. Is there a lot of me and my kingdom in it? Sometimes, yeah, and I got to apologize. I'm quick to apologize to my children because I don't want to, I'm not looking to be right all the time. I'm trying to point them to be more like Jesus. Joey, as you're hearing this topic today, and I know we're leveraging a Christmas tree thing today. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but thanks for the material. What do you hear today?
That you gotta be in the mess, and that it's not always easy. It's gonna be hard parenting, and parenting is I think like. Thinking of your buffaloes going through, and I'm thinking of, I don't want to think of it as a storm, but like the when your child's whining, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing right now that I'm so frustrated with is the whining, and it's like parenting through it instead of like just giving them the peace or what's going to give you peace and quiet for a second, but actually parenting through it. And so I would say just stay in the fight, not the fight, but stay in it. And that's what's probably speaking to me the most is just don't go the easy route.
Yeah, which we all do. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it right all the time. I've got to make sure when I talk all this stuff, like, I'm not trying to come off as higher and mightier than anyone else. I'll give one last thing, and I can't wait. In the new year, we're going to start our parenting podcast that Holly and I are going to do, and it's going to be I don't know if it's once a month or weekly thing at the beginning, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to sit down here in this studio and just talk about parenting things. We have some great parents lined up to talk about. Like we have parents that have lost a child and how to deal with that. We have parents that have kids grown up and married and been divorced and how do you handle it. So we're going to do all the stages in life, and we're going to have all kinds of guests on. So it's not just Holly's and my perspective in it, but we just want to help people parent. And I think the last thing is you were talking about in the whining stage, and I don't think that ever goes away, to be honest with you. It just sounds different. It gets disguised over the years, Joey, because Legend still whines. It just doesn't sound like when he was 4 years old whining. And so you sometimes as they change strategy, as a parent, you're like, crap, I didn't notice the change. They got one on me. But it's this. And whatever your parenting strategy is, you just got to stick with it. They can't wear you down. When I talk to parents and they're frustrated, well, my kids don't do what I ask them to do when I ask them to do it the first time. And then I'm like, well, give me your parenting strategy. What do you do? Well, when they don't, I ask them to clean up, and they don't. So then I come down and ask them again, and they don't. On the third time I come down, and then I said, get it cleaned up. I'm going to count to 5. And I count 5, then bad things happen. And then all of a sudden they start doing it. And then you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 1. You count up, whatever your strategy is. Well, they know that's the system. Right. They know the first time you're not really bothered. Second time, they still don't need to move. When you start counting is when they know, I'm in trouble. And it's if you as a parent want to eliminate the 2 other steps, then sit your child down, because here's where it gets really confusing for young people, is that you and your wife or you guys make a decision to go, okay, I'm going to parent. We want you to do it the first time now. But you don't tell that to the child? Well, and now you're going to give them consequences. It's going to be very confusing. They're going to be shocked of what's happening. They're like, wait, this is not how it's happened? So you sit down with the child going, hey, this used to be the old regime. This is the new regime. I asked you to do it one time. I will give you 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to get moving. And so they're going to know that they have to be moving by 5. They're never going to move at 1 because they're going to always get as close to the line as they can. It's just human nature. And so they go, by 5, I have 5 seconds to get moving, and then they're going to get moving. But you've got to, if you're a countdown kind of parent, then at 5, if they aren't moving, consequences need to be coming in. It's not they move at 6, no, 5, boom. And somebody's going to go, that's so rigid. But you're teaching the children that these are the responsibilities of life. It's like people that want to talk cops out of a ticket. Well, I was only going 5 miles over. It's 5 miles. The speed limit was 70, and you're doing 75. You're speeding. No matter how you feel about it, it's 5. It's 5. No, it's consequences, right? Here it is. This is what's going to happen, and it's best as you can hold to that standard. You're going to eliminate the things you even just spoke about, Joey. How do you eliminate the whining? You stick by what you said and don't give in. When you say no and they whine, you stay with the no. No matter how well they are at it, nope. It's just no. It's just no. The answer is no. You can't talk me into. But what happens a lot of times with raising kids, they know this is how I get what I want. The kids, they were convinced for a while, the older ones, convinced that, well, when it comes to video games, this is who needs to go ask dad because it's a no to me all the time. So you go ask, he'll say yes to you. Or it's dessert. They know we're not asking dad about dessert in the house. He'll always say no, but we'll ask mom. She'll say yes. So, right, they're figuring out the strategies that they all develop on their own. And then it's like a vicious war. It's you versus the children. But with love, a loving war, that they think strategies up, at least in our household. They're all meeting together, strategies on how to keep us from sleeping, because they figure if we wear them down, if we all visit them every night, they'll be so tired they will not say no. They'll just do whatever you want. We'll have freedom for a while. They're monsters, man.
Can't be.
They can be. Well, I was reading this,
They're
and
also blessings.
they're also blessings. They really are.
I know.
Like, I definitely am not gonna. I'm never gonna speak as they're the worst thing ever. Like, I love having children, but it is understanding who they are. So it's understanding those things. So I hope today you got something out of it. I know it's a little bit different of a teaching, and we're kind of giving just enough details to get people moving, of like asking yourself, do you have a bad case of I wants? Secondly, you examining your parenting and maybe changing some strategy to help have a together Christmas. Maybe some of you have some adult kids that you need to go and apologize to them because you missed a few things there. That's okay. Don't beat yourself over it. Get on to repairing, restoring the relationship today. There's no reason to wait. And so I hope you see... and maybe, see what I saw when I read the 2 stories today, that I want to raise my kids to be, man, they might go wayward. They might become the prodigal son or daughter, but hopefully Holly and I are creating an environment that they know they can come back. That's the goal. Because the likelihood of all of us having children that at some point will kind of go wayward, look at what the dad did. And you got to look at that story like, wait, the dad gave into the I want still there. This child is older. We're not talking about 14-year-old, or this is a child that was an adult coming back and asking, and the dad with compassion and understanding, here you go. Hurts him, but what's he doing? He sat on the porch waiting every day for his child to come back. It's a great story of a good, healthy relationship. The dad waited for him to come back and hugged him the minute he saw him. Create that environment, parents. Let's pray. Jesus, may we live every day with this idea. How do we help the next generation to live out your principles? And how do we have compassion as parents, loving compassion? How do we hold the standards without crushing children? How do we have patience when they're in that whining stage? Give us the endurance to stay teaching them. And those of us examining our parenting, may we make the course corrections now that we're looking at going, I'm going to make those corrections now so that I'm raising children that will know how to live for you, Jesus, today. May no one walk out of here feeling guilty or looking back. May we only look forward and go, I got some work to do. And I thank you for the stories in the Bible to learn these truths. And may we figure out in the Christmas story today who we identify with. And realize if we're identifying with them, why, and if there's some course corrections there, may we make the course corrections. Jesus, we love you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody, thanks for hanging with us today. Lily, we're doing greatest gift here. Can you explain that in a quick way for everybody online? What is the greatest gift?
Yes, greatest gift is our way of honoring God with everything he's given us, recognizing that everything we have monetarily, literally everything comes from him. It's a gift from him. And we want to take a minute to remember that. Oftentimes in scripture, God says, remember my promises, remember what I've done. This season is a lot about remembering why Jesus came. And this part of it for Unlock is about remembering that everything we have is from him and dedicating a gift back to him through his church this year. And so we kind of are having fun with the idea of what if we're giving a PlayStation for Christmas this year, knowing that's $500. I'm going to give my greatest gift is going to be not the PlayStation, it's going to be $501 back to the church. And so greatest gift is a great opportunity to exercise generosity, exercise our heart posture of knowing everything I have is from God, and I'm going to exercise that acknowledgement through giving. And so on December 17th, we are going to take a greatest gift offering. It's going to be the official day that we take the offering for this, but you can give any time if you feel, I want to do that. I want to recognize that my greatest gift needs to go back to God and not toward a PlayStation. You can give any time, and we make it simple here. You can give by going to unlockchurch.com/give, or you can text the word unlock to 77977.
And when you get there, you can give to the general, which would be your tithes and offering, and then the greatest gift, there's a pull-down tab that you can just say, there it is. It'll be fun as a church to come together here online and locally for our greatest gift as a church. And we use those gifts throughout the year to see needs and meet needs, partnering with organizations we've helped several churches start over this last year, which is exciting to know that your resources are helping other churches in other cities across the United States start. It has helped do mission projects, one being down in Arkansas where there is currently a whole new wall and section for people to come sit and really ponder what is Jesus saying to them on the tour of the Passion Play down there, which all summer 1 million+ people have come through their roads and sat potentially where we as a church gave the resources to finish off the tomb that they have there as a place to come and ponder about what was it like for the disciples to come to the tomb that was empty. Your resources are helping do those things. And so it's fun that we can take at the end of the year and go, listen, this is my greatest gift this year. I'm going to give it back to my church in a form of worship to God, and know that your church is doing something with it. It's fun. It's fun to look back to see what God has done over this last year with the needs we've met, the people's lives that this church, your church, has stepped in. And I think it's only possible by your generosity and God's faithfulness with us. So thank you for those who are going to take part in this. And it's going to be exciting to see what God does with it. I know it's been in conversation around the dinner table this week for us. What's our greatest gift going to be? And so excited about putting it in front of those in the church. And thank you for those that are going to pray about it and dream about it. And then don't forget Christmas Eve. Other than that, I think that's it. Dwayne, thank you for being with us today in your stockings and your vest.
Anytime. Love it. Love being a part.
I hope you're feeling much better. Like today you increased in health and not decreased like last week.
Definitely.
Okay. I love it. Dwayne, have a great rest of your Sunday. At least you know there's going to be peace this week for us as Viking fans. There's no chance of a win or a
no
loss.
losses. Yeah,
We just have to live with the loss to the Bears. It's heartbreaking.
yeah, that's tough.
It's tough. That's okay. All right, Dwayne. Love
Bye,
your family
Dwayne.
for us.
Dwayne.
See you, Dwayne.
Bye, guys.
Joey, thanks for hanging with us today.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure, everybody online. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
guys.